What up, what up, what up? It's your boy V Chris Beats. GTS is the movement. Me and Travis, T Customs, we here today to ask your questions. It's a live Q&A, so we've already sent links out. Travis, you want to get into where your links are at, where people can ask you questions at? Let's go.
Yeah, I think Will just hit me up. I think he's going to jump on here in a few minutes too. So,
Cool.
yeah. So basically, if you're viewing this on, if I send out an email to those of you that are on the list, there should be my Twitter handles below. Should be below the video at T Customs, or you can even drop a message on my Facebook page. Basically, anything related to music marketing, social media, branding, anything along those lines, feel free to tweet those or send those messages, those questions over. We have a few that we were going to go ahead and get into to get started. But if you have anything in the meantime, if we talk about anything that sparks a topic or something that you think you need help with, shoot it over to us, and we'll do what we can for the next 60 minutes or so to get through these. So it's kind of informal, no real formal structure to this. It's just kind of open for you guys. So if you have any questions, send them over.
Let's start it off. Or
I have one question that I received on a YouTube video, and I actually shot a video response to this. I haven't edited and published it yet, but I thought, and hopefully Will jump on here in a minute, and he'll be able to contribute too. The question is, hey, what would be the best? I created a video on, it was tips for Facebook ads. And so this was left, just for some context, this was left as a comment to that video, whereas like, know your audience who you're targeting, start small and kind of scale up from that. You don't want to just drop a bunch of money on something you haven't really tested out. Step through a bunch of tips like that. And this comment was left, what would be the best way to first pay for an ad on Facebook to promote my first single on SoundCloud, and then later promote the music video for that single? So basically, what I'm assuming he's got some budget. He wants to promote the track he's going to be distributing on SoundCloud, and then I guess later drop a music video to, I guess, supplement, have a piece of content essentially to passively promote that track. So I thought, if you don't mind, if you understand the question, Brian, I'll turn that over to you just to kind of get your thoughts on that. I kind of had already answered this, and I just wanted to get, your opinion on that. So you got that?
For me, so if he wants to put the video, he's got a video and he wants to put a song, or he has a single now. He wants to know how to promote it.
Yeah, he's got the single. He's gonna distribute, have it, I guess, available for free download is what I'm assuming, because I'm assuming a lot from this question, because a lot of the questions that I received don't necessarily have a lot of details. So we have to assume things about his fan base, assume things about the social media presence and all this type of thing. I'm assuming it's somebody dropping his first single on SoundCloud. That's how it's going to be available for download. And then later is going to be having a music video to support that. He's wanting to know how to promote that most effectively through Facebook ads on the ads platform. What would be his best approach to promote that?
Well, for Facebook ads, I would, if it's going straight to his SoundCloud, I would set up some type of opt-in page, because he wants to get people's email addresses so he can contact them whenever he sends that video. Whenever that video gets made, he wants to say, okay, the video is coming soon, keep people updated. So on that sense, if he's going to run an ad, I would send him to some type of opt-in form. The main thing is you want to start collecting those emails, and so you can follow up with people and let them know what's going on with the single, what's going on with the music, and keep them in the loop. I personally haven't had that much success just sending people straight to check out my song and then being able to contact them again. So the main thing I would say is get an opt-in page, a capture page where you can collect people's emails and keep following up with them. When you follow up with them, I tell them to add you as a friend on Facebook. Like, you have to tell people what to do when it comes to this marketing thing. Tell the person what the next step is. So once you get their attention, tell them, look, go here, do this, so you can build that relationship and start to really network with people.
So what would you say then? You're talking about building a list, which is obviously an essential aspect of starting to build a group of people that will potentially be supporters or fans or supporters or whatever. But what about somebody who's coming from basically a little, or just think about like a very non-existent or very minimal fan base. What people that if you don't know what you're opting in for, if you're opting in for music you never heard before, like why would people want to give you an email? So from that perspective, is that the only way, or is that like?
Well, for me personally, well, like I'll do it like this: if you don't have a fan base at all, like if no one knows who you are, and you're on Facebook, if you're going to run an ad, you're gonna have to target that ad to people, whatever type of music that makes. So if you have a song that sounds like a Migos song, when you're targeting your ad on Facebook, you want to target those types of artists, Migos, trap artists. If it's a trap song, target trap artists in your interest on Facebook just to get them to hit that market. But you have to know who you sound like who's similar to what you sound like, and market appropriately. Don't just market to hip hop in general, because not everybody who listens to hip hop likes trap music. You know what I mean? So you got to be specific in who you're targeting with that ad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's a key component of it. So my kind of take on this, like I said, I shot a kind of a video response to this yesterday, and I need to go back and edit it and really remember everything that I said in that. But it was essentially like, if you want to release the song first and have it on SoundCloud, and you want to promote that on Facebook, and you want to put money behind that, and let's say you have a small base already there on Facebook, sure, run a small campaign and just promote it, retarget it, or just to reach the existing fans that may have already downloaded past music. If this is your first single, though, you're coming from probably nothing. So in that case, if you're going to drop the video, this would be in my opinion, this would be my sole form of promoting it. Like that would be that's your content. That would be what I would use to engage the following and pull the people in. If they've never heard of you before, if you post a SoundCloud link and just promote that as an ad, it's going to be very difficult, even if your targeting's right. It's going to be very difficult if you put up just a capture page. If somebody I don't know and I see a capture page, to opt in for something, if it's something just to listen to, potentially get updates on music that they're going to release or video that I don't know anything about, like there's no way I'm giving that email. Now if it's something else that's more enticing, or I already know that person already has some sort of brand authority, or I have some sort of connection to them, that would be a different story. But especially starting from nothing, the video is what I would put the majority of my ad budget behind. And then you can have in the description, you can have a little snippet about the what the music video is, and then have, in a perfect scenario, you will be gathering emails, and there still may be a way to put in an email address. But I would say early on, if your sole purpose for this campaign is just to get people to your SoundCloud to download that, then use the video. Make it dope. Make sure the song's dope. The video's dope. That's going to be more engaging. That will draw more people in. And if they like it, then they'll be a lot more likely to click the download versus just seeing a SoundCloud link populate, even, like I said, even with the right targeting, in my opinion, because if you're going to invest the money into the video and make it nice and professional, and I'll use Hopsin as an example. I'll use Hopsin as a prime example for an independent artist. He put out the video, and it's not just Hopsin. It's obviously all independent artists, even major artists. They put out content, they put out interviews, they put out the videos. You understand the importance of that, or you wouldn't have mentioned it in the question and comment. But he puts that video out, they put the video out, and then if they like it, there's always a link to download, to buy it on iTunes, or to download it on whatever distribution platform that they're putting it on. So in my opinion, your best bet would be to put the majority of your money behind the video, and then have a direct way within that ad to link to the download.
Another thing too is when you do have that video ready, like there are millions of small blogs that have fan bases, and all you have to do is submit. It's not hard to get in contact with a blog and submit that video for placement on the blog. They'll promote the content for you, and that secondary promotion, it gives you that authority. It's not you saying, come check out my video. It's a blog that has their own fan base saying, yo, this video is dope to my fan base. Come check it out. So it's a lot of things that you can do to to promote the video. But definitely, if you're going to put that money behind it, put a Facebook ad up for views. It's not expensive to run an ad for view. I mean, to run an ad for video views at all.
And what's up, Will?
What's going on, brothers?
What's up? I want to get your opinion on this. I know you didn't hear the initial question, but I think you kind of get the gist of what this is. But I want to mention, too, if you do want to do an ad for video views, you can also experiment and have multiple ads running in parallel. So you could have smaller budgets and have maybe 3 different, have one that has the video embed, have one that maybe has a screenshot of your most engaging freeze frame in that music video. Could be one way with a different heading. You could do split tests within ads. You can get into the power editor in Facebook and really get into targeting and really get into more detail as far as who you're targeting. But again, it goes back to content. It just goes back to it being more engaging, especially for somebody who I don't know. If somebody that I'm already following, like I've seen this happen. I follow Apollo Brown on Facebook, right? And sometimes he will post. I don't know if it's a SoundCloud link. I think it's just like a YouTube link, or it's nothing special. It's what you see a lot of other independent artists that aren't getting any kind of results doing. But the fact that he already has the brand equity and leverage, I click on it every single time because I already know what to expect when he posts that. So he has the leverage.
Travis froze up.
Yeah, I think so. What was the question?
Basically, the question was, a person hit him up, said he had a single on SoundCloud, and he wanted to know the best way to promote it on Facebook. And he said he had a video coming soon for the video. So he wanted to know if he should promote the SoundCloud link. What should he run his Facebook ad towards, the SoundCloud or the video, basically?
I didn't know what his fan base is. I mean,
that's the thing.
If I don't know what his fan base is, forget the Facebook. You need to get in the street first.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get traffic and how to get views to that video. Go ahead, Travis. My bad.
I don't know when I cut out. So I was just gonna ask Will if he had any points.
Well, I don't know the person's pre-existence. If he's coming out right now. If he's coming out right now and he has no kind of fan base, he needs to network and work first, going to shows and everything else just to be seen. People know who, especially in your own city. You start your own fan base in your own city first. You know what I'm saying? Then you get online, and once you start, people start knowing who you are. And believe it or not, when you start networking, and you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, or wherever it is, or ask them take a picture and get to Instagram. There's a lot of footwork that goes in before this if you don't have a fan base. Now, if you have your fan base, of course, you go online. You gotta find your niche market. If you are a true hip hop head like Kendrick Lamar, I'm sure Travis already mentioned this already. When you do your ads, believe it or not, a video gains people's more attention than a SoundCloud link. People won't be stimulated when they want to see a video. That's why when 50 Cent dropped his last album, same thing Beyonce did it. She dropped the video with every single song that's on the album. Now, I'm not gonna say you got Beyonce's budget, but take that ideal and scale it down so it can work for you. And then once you get that, you gotta find out, hey, who likes Kendrick Lamar? Who does this? And you gotta go through your Facebook. You gotta go through your niche marketing, because I'm sure Travis and Brian said already. When you market to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. So you just can't say hip hop. You got people like hip hop on there like it's PM Dawn. I mean, they're not gonna mess with you if you're doing trap music or you go to a bunch of trap fans and you're doing Kendrick Lamar music. So once you pin down your niche, you can run an ad that targets those specific people. But once you get them targeted, the whole thing is you got to keep them engaged. It's just like a restaurant. You can get them all into the restaurant, but if the food ain't good, are they coming back? So you get them kind of engaging content, like behind the scenes, studio session, believe it or not, man, do quick little 5 to 6 minute little documentaries of you and your hood and talking about, and I was growing up here, I was doing this, I was did this, and blah 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 blah. And in the background has snippets of your music playing. Cause you ever watch a video and people say, "Yo, what's the name of that song?" Or "What's that track?" Or whatever it is. But you gotta give them some kind of something to engage. You can't just say, "Listen to my music, give me your email address, and stay up to date." I mean, 9 or 10 times, I'm not giving you my email address unless you have that brand leverage. Like, you know, like as a producer, as Superstar O said, give me your email address for a free 808 kit. I'm gonna give my fucking email address. But Superstar O has that brand leverage. But if you don't, you got to create it. You know what I'm saying? And this is a process. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. Not going to happen in 3 weeks. Not going to happen in a month. Not going to happen in 2 months. This is something you really got to work on. Is this? I mean, even though we tell upcoming producers, you got to have a 90-day commitment. Get this off and running. If you think it's going to happen in 2 weeks, you might as well give up now. I'm being honest with you. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it and how they say I ain't gonna piss on you until it's raining. If you expect this to happen in 2 to 3 weeks, forget about it. Because it's not gonna happen that fast. Now you do have some things that happen, like the boy, what's his name, designer, Panda. You know what I mean? He just happened to. That sometimes when he's prepared for where his luck was, you know, but he was prepared though. So that's the problem. Some people not even prepared when the luck comes. You know what I mean? So it's everything. Travis and Brian, I don't know what they said to y'all already, but you gotta have patience to get it done.
Kind of threw you in mid-conversation. That's all right though. But yeah, I mean, to answer, like, to go back to that really quickly, we can move on to some other topic, but especially with the little fan base, the video content, the video is what I would put most of my budget behind. And you got to find creative. You can find other platforms. It doesn't just have to be Facebook. You can find even creative ways within Facebook to promote that video. And of course, it's more complex than that. It's not just getting the download. What happens once they download your track? Then what happens next? I mean, there is that validity to having a capture page and be able to figure out who your fans are. But you kind of have to take it in steps. It's hard to kind of execute on everything right at the beginning in the infancy of building your brand. So you just kind of take it a step at a time. But that's the video. Make it dope. Don't put out something halfway done. If you can have the targeting right and the video looks crappy, all it's going to take is a few seconds. All it's going to take like 5-10 seconds or less. Somebody's be able to make a judgment on it and go on to the next 10 videos that are going to show up in their feed right when they just scroll down, a second later. So it's content floating around everywhere. You gotta put the work into that, and then you gotta learn the Facebook Ads Manager. You gotta learn Power Editor. You gotta learn that, because that shit is vast and is really tough to just sit down and like do based on interest or even just likes of a page. Like, there's so much more to the ads product that Facebook's provided now. There's so much more niche targeting, like more than I even probably know. I haven't even explored all of the possibilities within Facebook ads. But
one quick thing: make sure your music is ready. Don't put it out unmixed. Don't do the old thing, the unmastered version, or this ain't hard mixed or whatever. Put out quality product. If you feel that it's not ready, then it's not ready. There's nothing wrong with practice on your craft, so when you do drop it, it's quality. You do not want to start your brand out or do stuff ain't mixed, like it's not even knocking. I can't hear the drums, the timing's off on the vocal. You don't want people saying about your brand, because right then you want to tarnish your brand already. So make sure everything is on point before you release it.
Brian, do you have another question you want to get into? Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. You can tweet me at tcustoms. It's TCUSTOMZ. I should forgot how to put up a tag on Google Hangout. But Brian, did you have another question?
Yeah, I had actually, someone hit me on Facebook, and the question was, it was a personal question for me. It was, what's the fastest way that to get traffic to build your list as far as getting artists on your list? He asked me what was the fastest way that I do it. Obviously I run ads, but recently I've been experimenting with just different ways of getting traffic, and what I've noticed is free beats are always going to work. You're always going to be able to get somebody to opt into your list for free beats. But the quality of person joining your list at that point is a little different. What I've done in the last, yesterday I started a contest on Facebook, and I got 60 people to opt into that contest. What I've learned is that content, as far as tips on how to get tips for artists to build their buzz, always get clicks, always get opt-ins, good opt-ins for me. But the biggest thing for me has been webinars, short webinars for artists answering a specific topic will get serious, or I would say more serious artists on your list as opposed to somebody who wants free beats. Everybody wants free beats. Any rapper wants free beats. But the artist that's gonna click a link to sit down and listen to you talk about, how to build their brand or how to get the buzz up is I would say is a more quality artist, because they're trying to network and they're trying to get somewhere as opposed to just rapping. So you kind of got to look at it like, who do I want? Who do I want to sell beats to? Do I want to sell beats to somebody who just ain't doing anything with their career, or do I want somebody who's trying to get to a certain place? So I would say creating content, like I said, doing tips and marketing tips for artists, and it's not hard to do that. You can go on any blog, see somebody's content, and repurpose it for whatever it is you're trying to do, and present that to artists on Facebook or Twitter or whatever medium you use. But I'll say that webinars, getting lots of people at the same time, and it's easier for you to market that way, and it builds your authority online because you're the person that they're coming to who knows what they're talking about, and that goes a long way as far as creating a client list that lasts longer. I don't know if you guys got anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, anything live really is good. So whether it be a webinar, or whether it be you on Periscope, whether it be you on whatever other streaming, I mean, Ustream. I still use Ustream from time to time because that's gives me more capabilities than a Periscope is more mobile, and it's just kind of on the fly type of stuff. So that's easy. Like, anybody can install a Periscope application and be able to set it up with their phone on a tripod, or if you don't have a tripod, whatever on your. I got a little classical bust here I could just rest it on. So it doesn't cost you anything to do that, but it gives more context. People get more insight into what you're doing, and you gain more trust that way. So I was just going to piggyback on anything live, anything you can do live, whether it be a webinar, Google Hangout, Periscope, Meerkat, whatever else.
Another thing I want to say is you got to be consistent with this. Like, you can't put out one video and think that that's all you have to do. Like, you got to follow up with people, and I know we go through this a lot. We ask these questions, we answer these types of questions all the time within GTS, but it takes a person 8 to 12 times to visit your website, to visit your beat store, to actually purchase something. So if you don't have anything to get them back to your website, you don't have anything to get them back to listening to your beats, it's going to be extremely hard for you to sell beats. And that's why we see so many producers who struggle, is because they don't have any reason for artists to come back. Like, you made a dope beat. Well, we all got dope beats. It's very rare that I hear a producer whose beats are shitty. You know what I mean? So it's like, for you to get to cut through the clutter, you got to do something different than what everybody else is doing. And you see the guys on, I'm not going to say their names, but you see the guys on YouTube who have the videos where they're like doing a little acting, doing a little skits. They're getting a shitload of views, and they're selling a gang of beats because they're being creative. They're doing something that's outside the box. They're not posting up, SoundCloud links. They're not posting up, come check out my beats. They're giving you something visually that you can see, that's entertaining, that's engaging. And I watch them, and I'm a producer, and I share them with other producers, knowing full well that I understand that this is promoting this person's brand. But to me, it's like, the content is great. It doesn't matter, that we're both in the same market. Dope content is dope content. I want people to see it. I want people to share it. So if you're creating content that is engaging and people like to see, you've got to do it on a continuous basis. Those people don't make one video and stop. They make one video, they say, oh, I get a response from this, I'm going to keep doing that. And that's kind of what you have to do. Find whatever it is that separates you from everybody else, create that type of content and put it out there, because just putting your beats up on Facebook and Twitter or social media in general, it's not gonna set you apart from anybody else.
Definitely. I was just trying to get my lower third will not show up. You can tweet, if you have questions, you can tweet to @tcustoms, or if you guys have any other ways for them to get in contact with you. I was trying to put that Twitter handle up on the, it's @TCUSTOMZ.
Yeah, you can hit me on Twitter @ProducerPreneur. So, yeah.
If you want to hit me, just hit me @BeatMogul on Twitter.
Why this lower third? Anyway, did you have any other? Will, do you have anything you want to chime in on, or
Y'all laid it down right there. I don't want to, repeat anything. Basically what you said.
All right. Got a question from Mims Beats. It's asking beat leasing. What is the best outline for writing contracts for leasing beats, for non-exclusive beats, and for exclusive beats?
I know my Flash Store, they have a contract that you can kind of model yours off of to download from their site. I'm pretty sure.
I would say there's not a one size, just to start off, I would say there's not a one size fits all. I would say it's going to depend on, you'll look at people's different, you look at their contracts, licensing terms, and maybe for the most part they might be similar, but they're not necessarily exactly the same, because, so going back to what you said, model what's out there. I mean, look at the credible sources, the people that you know are of authority, that probably know what the hell they're doing. You don't want to model over somebody who's just getting started, but you don't just want to go blindly and have a licensing agreement that's just blindly copied from somebody else. You want to go through, if you're taking a template contract or agreement, and you want to make sure you go, if there's multiple clauses, you want to make sure you go. If you have a lawyer, you want to get somebody to look at something, you could even have a music lawyer, get something drawn up specifically for you if you need something custom. But I think starting out, you would be okay modeling and having something simple. You don't want to have a bunch of clauses in there if you don't know what the hell you're talking about anyway. So in my opinion, just to keep things simple, keep your agreement simple and to the point. As you go, you may want to, change them. Like I said, at some point you get a budget, you want to hire a lawyer to help you finalize one or help you custom create one. But I think getting started, you can definitely pull from what's out there to get a better idea. Then you just need to come up with something that fits your needs. That's my opinion. I know, Will, you have something to chime in on this.
Yeah, well, it's just one thing I tell a lot of people not to do is, if you, like you said, go to an authority, don't straight copy it, model after it, and also you gotta look at, some people put things in, their license agreement that's going to jam you later on down the road. I did it. And my thing was, I actually put in there, which on my end was a big mistake, because they paid for the lease, they took and they sampled it, and I'm not gonna say who they are, artists, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I tried to sue, went to my lawyer, but my lawyer said I'll put royalty free in them, and once they bought it within that license agreement, they can use it for whatever they want to use it for. But I said 100% royalty free. Okay, so when you make up your license agreements, you can go to T-Customs, you can go to my website, we all got them there, but you gotta model that to what you do. You might not want somebody to have 10,000 spins. You might want to have 2,000 spins. You might want to put a certain limit on certain things for the way that you're doing it. You know what I mean? So it comes down to your preference And like you said, if you get a budget, you can take it to a lawyer. You can, if I'm not mistaken, see, I don't know if you like me, I belong to the recording academy. I can take my stuff there for free, and they can look at it. You know what I mean? But you gotta be a part of the recording academy. That's something totally else down the line. But the whole thing is you just gotta look around and, like he said, find the credible sources who do it. He said like Wishcombe has it, My Flash Store, I think BeatStars has it also. But you don't want to use that license and copy it. Tailor it to what you do in your business.
Yeah, I mean when I got started. When I got started early on, and it's my licensing agreements and every, whether it be exclusive rights, like they've kind of gone through iteration, so it's not the same contract and agreements that I had from when I just started selling tracks. But what I did initially was I modeled literally, like I probably pulled from 20 or 30 different sources. Like I would just go online, look at different websites. I would copy and paste what they had in a folder or in a text document. I would maybe highlight certain clauses and certain things that I liked, and I would basically my initial licensing agreements were all just a big collage of all the best clauses and all the best parts from probably 20 or 30 different contracts that I found online from different establishments, from producers and companies and things like that. So there's not a one size fits all, but you can keep it simple in the beginning. Don't put stuff in there that you don't know what you're doing, that you're saying. So everything that you have in your agreements, make sure you understand it. Do you have any other topics, Brian?
Yeah, the question I had, I just got a question from on Facebook. So how do I connect with artists on Facebook using the chat? First off, let me say that using the chat on Facebook is extremely tedious. I'm pretty sure that you have a lot better things you could do with your time. At the most, I would say spend maybe 15 minutes, if that, even connecting with artists on Facebook in that way. And when you're going to do that, don't send them any links to listen to your music. Genuinely, if you're going to go to, say, a group or somebody posts a song, inbox them and tell them how much you like the song and start to build a relationship from there. I used to have a method where I would, chat with people, and it works, but it's you can do so much more with your time. So if you're going to inbox somebody, just inbox them and be genuine about their music. It'd be better if you had something to offer them other than beats. So for me personally, if I like a song, I'll inbox somebody, or they see like a video up on Facebook, I'll inbox them and say, look, man, I like that video. Is it cool if I post it on my blog? Yes. They're going to say yes. That opens a conversation to different topics. But it's because I initiated something to help them get to where they were trying to get to. They want to get their name known. They want to get coverage. So you got to have something to even entice somebody with the conversation. Just because as soon as they click on your page to see who you are, they're going to see you're a producer, and the first thing they're going to think is, oh, he's just trying to sell me beats. And that's not how you want to start any relationship out at all. So I would say this, it'd be better for you to, like, as we put out content, so we attract artists through content. I don't have to tell them I sell beats. When they come and ask me something, they already know that. You'd rather have people asking you than you asking them. So I tend not to do the chatting too much as far as trying to get artists to join my list or listen to my music. But if you're going to use chatting, you got to have something for them to offer that's going to help their career and not take money out their pocket.
That's exactly right. That's one of the biggest problems I see, and I think I was there at one point too. And it's just something that you kind of learn and as you go when you're reaching out to people through a Facebook message or however. It's you have to be aware of how you're being perceived, and if you are just coming across non-genuine, could be one part of it, just with an agenda, like you're trying to sell them something, but you always want to come with some sort of value exchange. I get people that hit me up all the time with questions, and that's why we do these kind of open Q&As, and I try to get back to as many emails and social media. But the entitlement sometimes is really what bothers me when people don't even say hello. Like they don't like you don't ever like that's one thing with the Facebook message, and it sounds simple, but I say it because I see it every single day. People start a Facebook message without even saying hello or what's up or any kind of introduction. It's right into business. It's most of the time the messages that I get are, here's how you can help me. 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 And I'm like, where's the value exchange? Like, you don't have to pay me necessarily, but like, at least, like Will said before, at least like stroke my ego, at least tell me something, like at least say hello, like at the very fucking minimum, tell me hello, like say hi, what's up, how's it going, how's your day, like something. But that's one of the things that I think it's something that you learn, but you gotta learn how to deal with people, and you gotta understand too with text, with the Facebook message or an email, like you don't get any kind of it's not like speaking to somebody. You can't read my facial expressions. You can't tell the tonality of my voice. You don't get any of that. And so it's even more imperative that you are communicating what you're trying to communicate in the friendliest way possible. If it's starting a relationship, if it's actually reaching out to an artist, you know, or asking somebody for a question, at least have a setup, have something that is not rubbing the person the wrong way, because like I said, I try to respond to as many of the messages as possible, but so many people don't. Just be human with me. Like let's talk for a second. Like, let's get a little foreplay before we get into the real deal. Like, at least, you know, like, let's have a little chat back and forth before we get right into business. So I was kind of deviating a little bit, but that to me is a big, like, that's a biggie. That's a biggie, and it goes on all the platforms. It goes everywhere. I see it every single day through email and social media.
For me, I'm glad you actually opened that up, Travis. Etiquette is like social media etiquette is a huge problem for producers. A lot of people, when it comes to like building their brands, they fuck it up because of their attitude online. Like, what you post online, the things that you post, like, you have to understand that you are not just some producer online. If you're trying to sell beats, you are a business online. No matter what everything you post is indicative of what is representing your business. So you got to be really careful on what you post. Now, you can say what you want and do what you want, but understand that something that you say or do online can reflect badly on your business. So be mindful of that. I know I'm good for posting like some rant, just a rant just to get a response out of people. I'll shit on producers and I'll shit on artists right back to back, because I want to see what are they saying, what are they thinking. And it's like, you can do that if people know that's what you do. Like, people know I'm going to talk shit because that's what I do all the time online. But you got to be careful, like, how far you take it. You want to do stuff online that's going to spark a conversation. But if you just get online and you're whining and crying and complaining about, I can't sell beats and all these different types of things. I see producers say some things online that I would never say, because it's going to kill my brand. So just watch what you're doing online, because it's going to affect you in the end. You got people watching you all the time. There may have an artist who was just about to buy a beat from you, and you said something that turned them off completely. And that one thing led to them saying, I'm not fucking with him no more. And if anybody else that they know is fucking with, they're not gonna recommend you to anybody. So just be careful of what you say and what you do online. And if you're one of those people who are spamming links in people's inboxes, it's over. Like, it's fucking over. Like, I had a kid hit me. I have a producer who hit me yesterday, said he watched my videos on YouTube. I'm like, cool, whatever. And like, just small conversation, boom, he hits me with a link. I was like, man, thanks, that's what's up. Before I even finished answering the question, I'm still typing, he sent me a link to his SoundCloud. I'm like, and I told him, I said, look, just a word of advice, do not send anybody links unless they ask you for their link. Like, it's first of all, it's he said his actual answer was that I thought that it showed initiative and some other bullshit. I said, no, it's thirsty. You look desperate as hell sending your links, spamming your links out to people who don't want them. If I want to hear your tracks, I'll ask you. Same thing with an artist. If an artist wants to hear your beats, they're going to check your profile and say, okay, he makes beats. After a while in that conversation, they're going to say, yo, where your beats at? They're going to ask where your beats at if you're engaged in normal conversation with them. And it doesn't take long. I talked to a person for 2 conversations. And, yo, I know you make beats. Where's your website? Like, you don't have to ask people to check out your beats. They're going to ask you if you're being genuine with them, and they can see that you can help them in some other capacity as far as their music is concerned.
Definitely. I've got a couple questions. Hello. All right, this comes from AKW Beats. Says, I want to know, have you ever outsourced any of the services you provide? So I've never outsourced any of the services that I provide. I've outsourced things to be done for my business. Like, I've outsourced things to Fiverr, like little, transcribing my videos and like little things like that. I may hire a consultant to ask some questions to, somebody that I know is an expert in a certain field, like those sort of things. But as far as outsourcing, like my mixing and mastering, like I don't outsource that to somebody else to take care of mixing and mastering. Like, I take care of that myself. I know Will takes care of his own stuff. Chaz takes care of his own stuff. Like, I'm sure that there are people that do that. I don't know what other service you'd be talking about, because other than I couldn't outsource consulting, because if somebody's paying me for consulting, that's outsource me for consulting, and then my assistant shows up to help them with their questions. What else would it be? What other services? I'm not sure.
For me, like I said, it could be like we all do mixing and mastering. I'm not gonna take your mix and then shoot it to another engineer and be like, yo, can you master this for me? You could do that, but I don't see where that's gonna be lucrative for you. You know what I mean? You'd have to be pricing your mixes at a price that's gonna cover that payment, and you can still make a profit. So, it's possible, but I don't personally do it. You buy a mix from me, you expect to get it from me. Is basically what it is. So, but other than that, like Travis said, there's small things you can outsource, but
like if you want to, I can think of outsourcing, get somebody to sell something for you. If you got your own drum kits and sound sets and stuff like that, and you want to give them to different websites to sell them for you. You know, that's almost like you being a wholesale and they being a retail store.
Yeah.
That's the only thing else I can think of. But I'm not gonna. All my customers that come from mixing and mastering is done by me. I'm not gonna. Now, if I get overwhelmed, I'm just happen to be lucky to have my brother. You know what I'm saying? That I know that I'll be like, here, man, I just pay him to do it. If I'm running behind, I have him do it, and I just give him the payment that the person paid me. If I'm just running behind, I just got too much on my plate. You know what I mean? But other than that, if you got like sound kits, drum kits, you doing like contact libraries and stuff like that, and then you want to get them out to different other companies to sell them for you. You can do that. But other than something else, I can't really think of anything else.
Definitely. And you can always, look at different affiliate products, whether you're selling your own products through, like I have, several kits that I distribute on Industry Kits, but I also, that's just another source for me. I guess that's considered, it's not really outsourcing because I'm not paying anything up front. SSO takes his cut. Any other producers that are distributing kits on there take their cut. He takes his cut, but he has the platform there. But I also have my own platform, so it's just kind of diversifying those income streams with those products. But I hope that answers your question.
I would like to know if, it's probably on Twitter, but I was wondering like what he was trying to outsource. Like
Yeah, I mean,
that would kind of help. But
if you're watching, feel free to tweet again. I had another question. Do you have any other questions? Anything you want to cover, Brian?
I have this question. This is a broad ass question, and I hate these questions, but because it's like it's so many ways you can go with it. But it's basically was asking like how to build your brand, which gee, there's a million ways to build your brand. I'll just say create content, create engaging content. When people engage with that content, talk back to them, get to know those people, and you'll build your brand that way. And just create a shitload of content, and when people click the like, talk to them. When people share it, talk to them. Like you have to physically be in this in order to make this shit work. Like automation is great for certain parts of this game, but if you want to get in touch with people, people want to talk to people. I sell more beats. I want to say this. I sell higher price beats with people that I know and that I speak to than people that I don't know. So if I have clients that we may have met online, they may have bought a lease, but if we engage with each other on a regular basis, they're more likely to buy exclusives from me than just some random guy who hits my page and just spends $1,300 on exclusive, because we build a relationship. So me doing that, me taking that time is building my brand with my long-term clients. My list isn't that big, but I sell a shitload of exclusives. Also, building your brand outside, like actually physically go somewhere, go to events, go to open mics. Like you have to be seen in the scene. If your city doesn't have a scene, you need to find the closest city to you that does have one and get your ass there when they have an event to be seen. Like you have to politic with people. You got to be seen in places. I know when I first moved to Chicago, no one knew who I was. No one knew who I was. I just said, okay, let me see where the underground open mics are. I seen where the underground open mics were. I went to Subterranean on a Monday or Sunday night. I went there every Sunday night without fail, to a point where people just see me there and people say what's up to you because you're here all the time. I started seeing artists on stage. They get off stage. I'm in their hand. At the time when I first got here, it was CDs, but now it's hard drives. I'm in their hand with a hard drive. Like, yo, go check. What's up, man? I liked your performance. Here's a hard drive. My beats, my contact information's on there. And that's it. And I let them go. Like, I don't have to talk to them again because they got the merchandise. They're going to go home and listen to it. And if they fuck with it, they're going to call me. If they don't fuck with it, they're not going to call me. But you got to physically be out there, like, networking and talking to people and networking online. It's the same shit. But you've got to be, like, engaging with people who engage with you. So if you like somebody's music, say that you like their music. There's nothing wrong with being a fan and working your way in. If you're a fan, you know how many times I'm a fan of somebody and then they're like, yo, I didn't even know you make beats. What's good? Like, you have to start talking to people and being interactive with people if you want to build your brand. You can sit back all day, but music is a funny game, man. You gotta put the work in.
You definitely do. And it can be online, it can be offline, it can be, I mean, definitely got to have the online presence. I mean, unless you come from the super old school and you already have your network and you don't need online, like you don't need the online presence, that's fine. But even the old head, I mean, Pete Rock is very active on social media. If you go on his accounts, he's very active. Nice. Specifically on Ninth, and I'd say that they're old heads, but they come from the older, the offline generation. I mean, I guess Ninth is a little younger. He was kind of, transitioning during that period, but it can work both ways, but you definitely need the online presence. I mean, I didn't build my initial base offline; it was online, and only in later years was I actually, because I'm not really in an area. I kind of use that as an excuse because I'm sure that there are some. I've actually worked with some local artists, but just very few. But in my area, there's not a lot. It's not like in Chicago or in, New York or in like a big city where there's really even this type of music scene, the type of music that I make. So I just went to online, and that's where I put all my eggs in the online basket. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to put out beat videos. I'm going to do some tutorials. I'm going to do whatever I know that I'm at least decent at, that I have the most skill set at, or that I have the most competence at. I'm going to put this out there and do that way. And then I started to get people started to trust me and like some of the things, and it just kind of escalates. But its consistency is, I mean, I just got a question that says, what's the most difficult part of your guys' career? And there's a lot that's a loaded question, because there's a lot of, you know, peaks and valleys in any career, whether it be in music or any discipline in life in general. There's always the peaks and valleys, but the consistency is where I see so many people struggle. You know how many accounts I've gone to, people's social media accounts, and that's not to say that that's the only way to judge somebody's work that they're doing based on what they're doing on social media, but whatever you're doing behind the scenes, if you're not putting it out there, unless you have the offline network, nobody online is seeing what's going on, so to them you're basically silent. So when I do go to select artists and producers and musicians page, and they'll get where they're posting, and then it's like a month and it's like silence, just like nothing. And I'm like, maybe you're focusing on another platform. Maybe you just started getting on Snapchat and you're just like heavy on there and you're posting. But at the same time, what about the people that are following you on Twitter, or the people that liked your Facebook page? Like, you still need to keep them in the loop of what's going on. You still need to make some sort of posting there. But the consistency is, you got to be good. You got to continue to grow and develop your skill set in marketing, and your production's got to be good. Your music's got to be good. You got to find creative ways to market, but you got to. It's never a sprint, and it's day after day after day after day, 365, and then you start again, day after day after day after day, 365 goes by, and then you start. It's just rinse, repeat, and you just keep going. So I would say why I see so many, and I'm kind of interpreting this question, but it's when you say the most difficult part. I mean, consistency is difficult. It's not easy to do stuff on days you don't want to do stuff. And yes, we are following a passion. Yes, we're doing what we love. But at the same time, there's a lot of bullshit that comes with it. There's a lot of stuff you do that you don't necessarily want to do, but it's necessary, because you're building something from nothing. You're building something from the ground up. And you know, it's the consistency is where I see just people falling off. They'll be good for a month, even a year, even a couple years, and then just completely off the map.
Like I had posted, like literally what you just said, I posted like 2 days ago. Like, I had somebody call me arrogant. Like, they're like, oh, you're arrogant because I didn't want to collaborate with them. Like, and the thing is, on my post I said, if I'm going to collaborate with you, before I even think about doing something like that, I check your social media. I check it all. I check your YouTube. I check to see if you got a website. I check your SoundCloud. I check your Facebook fan page. I check your Twitter. If I don't see any production on your page, I don't give a shit what you tell me. You can tell me, oh, I know so-and-so, I'm working with this person. I don't care, because I see that you're not active on social media. If you're not active on social media, who's listening to you? You haven't posted a song in a year. Like, I'm not wasting my time with that shit. So I don't waste my time with those types of people. And if they're offended by it, I don't care. Like, it's not you don't have, like, it's just, at some point in time you got to say, okay, this is what my time is worth. And if you're dedicated to this craft, and you want to be a music producer, you want to be a successful music producer, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot sometimes to get what you want. Like, the consistency is everything, man. I remember just making beats every single day. Like, every day. Sitting at this drum machine and making beats every day. And then after making a beat, it was doing the beat breakdown video. After doing the beat breakdown video, it was making another video of a snippet just to put on YouTube. And it was putting it on a blog. That's just for a beat. And it's like, it's not hard, it takes time, but after you keep doing it, it becomes a habit. Once you start forming those good habits, then you start to see results from those good habits. If you're consistently networking, if you're consistently putting out new music, if you're consistently shooting quality content and videos, people are going to take notice. In 2000, I'll say this, from 2006 to 2010, nobody knew who I was online. I had no name whatsoever. It wasn't until I started taking the online part seriously, from 2011 to like 2012, I started marketing a little bit differently. 2013, I knew what I was doing, and like it took me failing over and over again, not being consistent to realize, you know what, let me do this for the next 90 days. Every day for 90 days, I shot a video and put a video out. That consistency, everybody who knows me seen that consistency from there. I met Travis that way. I met Christio. Everybody I've met that's in GTS, I met from video. I've met from being consistent online. Like, if you want to attract people to you, you've got to fucking put that work in. It's got to be every day. This is my job. This is my 9 to 5. And this 9 to 5 is sometimes 20 hours a day. Like, sometimes it's me pulling 24 hours at this 9 to 5. But if that's what I got to do to get the content and to get the people to listen to me, that's what I'm going to do. And you got to have that type of mentality. If you got a 9 to 5, you got to understand that this is a 9 to 5 too. You're going to put 8 hours in there and then come home and only put 2 hours in on this. What do you really want to do? You got to put in that time. You got to put in that work for people to notice you. Don't go work for somebody for 8 hours and don't give a shit about that job and then come home and say, I love making music, I want to be a producer, and then only put in 2 hours. Not even every day. I'm tired. Empire's on. Like, you got, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, you know what? I'm not watching Empire today. I'm going to make music.
I DVR everything because I know I won't be able to see anything that come on TV.
And let's not buy this new pair of J's. Let's save this $200 and let's make that a couple months worth of ad budget. Maybe I can spend $50 a month or $100 a month and start small and try to learn Facebook ads and do some testing and see if I can actually, help grow my base. AKW Beats, you mentioned about a social media boosting service. I would be very, very, very careful when you say that type of stuff, because I don't know without seeing what you're talking about, but it sounds like a way to boost your following without any real work, and that's just not the reality of it. I'm not saying there aren't companies that can't help you and there aren't tools that can't help you to grow your base, but a social media boosting service, that sounds like you're paying for clicks, you're paying for followers type of stuff. I don't like what that sounds like. So
actually, Facebook is cutting down on that because what you call them, click farms. When they go there and just do a bunch of clicks, and what happens is now Facebook has an algorithm out there, and when they see certain people, and you'll know, like right now, you get certain likes on your fan page, and also it'll start going down. It'll go up, but you add more people, also going down. You think it's still sucking up. What happens now is Facebook looks at all these different likes, and if one person, no man in life is going to like 4,000 things. I'm sorry, just I've been on this earth right now for 42 years. I think I like about 20 things. Okay, so it'll be on one person going to like 4,500 things, and so Facebook sees this, and what it starts doing is, when you start doing that, like a bunch of things, they start sending. When you start putting posts out, it doesn't get you as many people. You know what I'm saying? Algorithms throws stuff out there that it won't get to a certain amount of what we call impressions. You know what I mean? Facebook looks at that stuff. You gotta understand, they got fail safes in place, so you can't do little sneaky shit. Basically, that's what it is.
And if they haven't caught it, they're going to catch it because they're always changing algorithms. I mean, Facebook, YouTube, like they're always implementing new. If there's coders or people out there that are finding black hat people that are finding ways to kind of game the system, it's always going to catch up and be able to catch that type of stuff. But I mean, I remember a guy that sent me a track on. It was one of the music showcase reviews that I did at the end of last year, and it was like he sent me a SoundCloud link, and it had like, I don't know, like thousands of views. It had no comments, and within like a few days, and I'm just like, it sounds like a SoundCloud, media boosting service, like that they just went in and got a bunch of plays. But I think the root question is, all you're doing with that is you're trying to like fake a presence that you don't have, and really in reality, it's not doing you any favor. Like, you might trick a few people to think you're more of an authority than you are, but other than that, those people aren't real fans anyway, so it's not like you can convert them into customers or anything. It's just, it makes no sense.
It's like it's like as far as like with Facebook likes and shit like that, like first of all, it's killing your reach. Period. These people are not. I would rather have, and I tell this to artists, and I tell this to producers all the time. Like, would you rather have 10 fans that spend money on your product, or 100 fans that don't? I want the 10 fans that spend money. Like, it doesn't matter if you got 800,000 views and no one bought something from you, and you paid for those views. It didn't help you. Because even if I go to your page and I say, oh, this has 800,000 views, that's not the buying decision for most people. Like, so the perception is actually killing your edge rank in Facebook. It's killing you. Like, when you do post something, those people don't care about your music, and no one's gonna see it. It's like I tell people all the time, like, I messed up on my first Facebook page by just asking all my friends to like my Facebook page. Like, whether they liked my music or not, I was just like, oh, I need to get likes on my Facebook fan page. And it fucked me up when I would have just been like, you know what? I should only deal with artists that actually like my music to come like my fan page, because they're engaged in whatever it is that I'm doing. Or producers, like, you want the smallest number of people who are the most, you want super fans of your music. You want people who fuck with you hard. So when you post something, it gets likes, it gets comments, it gets shares. If I go to most people's Facebook fan pages, I don't see any engagement on their posts. Like, none. And it's like, if people don't support you on your personal page, what makes you think they're going to support you on your fan page? Like, they don't care. And it's not that they don't fuck with you, they just don't care. They got something else that they're into. So you got to find the people that care about what you're doing and care about what you're putting out. And to be honest with you, if all you're putting out is link after link after link after link after link, nobody's going to care after a certain point of time. You've got to be doing something that's engaging with people if you want to really build that base.
It's what it takes, man. It's what it takes. You got to do something to stand out. You got to do what other people aren't doing. You gotta look at whoever you see as success, whoever you model for success, whoever it is. Look at what they're doing. Follow what they do. If they're at a level where they're, like I said, people with more leverage can get away with not executing things to the fullest. So you might not want to look at the super mega star, which most of them probably are. They have a lot more money, but there are some mid-level and even major artists and producers that I've seen that I'm like, well, if they did something a little bit different, not that I'm in any authority to tell them how they're supposed to promote their music, but there are things that they could do differently to get more exposure. But at the level of the reach that they already have, it's not as important. But early on, you want to take advantage of everything, and you want to do beat videos, you want to do live streaming, you want to do tutorials if you can. You might be attracting producers. Always be mindful of who might be watching the content. So if you're not trying to, attract producers in, then you might want to consider that a tutorial video might just be for beat makers, might be for whatever. So you might want to do something with mixing vocals or something that a DIY artist might be into. Anything that you learn that's helping you as far as marketing. Social media, like memes and any kind of pop culture, any way you can tie your music into like pop culture events or anything that's current in the news. But it's consistency, and there's no social media boosting service that's going to skyrocket you up and get your music #1 in the charts, and you're gonna have all these paying customers. Like that stuff doesn't exist.
I just got a question on Facebook. How long have you been making beats, and how long have you not had a job? 9 to 5. I'm imagining. I've been making beats since 94, 93, 94. Not having a job, a day job. What is it? 2016? Like, I think I had my last job in 2010, 2011. Yeah, but yeah, well, the question is how did I basically quit? How do we quit our jobs, or how do we not? We went from, I mean, it's from music, it's from selling everything online. It's not just, it's not just selling beats. You know what I mean? Like I make a lot of my money from music, from selling music production, but I also make money from mixing and mastering. I make money from consultations. I make money from affiliate products and selling other people's drum kits. Like I don't do drum kits. So Travis does drum kits and Chaz and somebody else. So I sell other people's kits and get a cut from that. So it's like it's a lot of things, man. And I mean, I've done TV work. Um, I've done stuff for local businesses in my neighborhood that need a YouTube presence and they need music and they need this or they need that and they don't know how to do it. I do it for them for a fee. So it's money comes from everywhere, and it's those small little things that people think are insignificant that kind of help us or help you to be able to quit that job if that's what you're trying to do. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I don't know how you guys do it.
Me the same way. So I'm making beats, 94, 95, I guess. Back with an MP62. You know what I'm saying? Still back there, still recording the tape. Then went to ADAT and everything else. And I started working my job, I think early 2013. You know what I mean? And I had a good paying job, man. I was a retail sales manager at Fortune 500 company. You know what I mean? But it was alright. But I love doing this. But right now, like I said, I make money from. I ain't gonna lie. Both of my money comes from mixing and mastering and holding studio sessions.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I sell more beats offline than I do online. To tell you the truth, because I network. I go to these little network events, these little bullshit cocktail parties, and like I said before, if BMI, then they come to town, I go to little BMI events or ASCAP events. They're holding down the Hard Rock Cafe here in Philly. Same thing with the Recording Academy for the Grammys here in Philly. I go to all those networking events. And I network, man. I give out my business card for beats. I give out flash drives. Flash drives, I mean, I just bought a 64 gig flash drive for $15. So, a 1 gig joint ain't going to cost you nothing to go to eBay or wherever you want to get them from if you put your beats on it. 10 beats, average size of a file is 4 megabytes. You know what I mean? That's 40 megabytes for, on a Wishcom. You got to hand those things out. And for ways you can be successful, man, selling your beats is don't be afraid to give nothing away. We talk about this all the time. Stop being afraid to give something away. If somebody's working on a project, just give them 10 beats. It's still nobody can steal your intellectual property. It's yours. It's your music. It's your beats. It's not like you give them the beat and all of a sudden it erases off your hard drive. It's still yours. You can give it to somebody else. You can resell it to somebody else. What you want to do with it. But I say there's so many streams. In this business, you're going to have what's called MSI. You're going to have multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? Travis, he does the beats. He does affiliate stuff. He has his drum kits. If you don't have them, get them because they're banging. I use the hell out of his Vox kits. You know what I'm saying? But you got to find ways to do it. You know what I mean? If you want to do a drum kit, see if you can get a drum kit. Make sure it's banging, and see if Superstar open on industry kits. See if who else has a kit thing? Twine Beats has one. Producerkits.com. A whole bunch of things out there. But you got to realize, in business, you can't think that everything's going to be, all the profits are going to go to you. You have to split this shit somewhere. If you want to put it somewhere, you have to split with somebody. If somebody has a bigger market than you, and you can get it in their store, all right, you're going to have to split something. They're going to take 30%, you're going to take 70%. But right now, it's sitting on your hard drive, and you're making no percent. You know what I'm saying? Don't think you get 100% of everything. Business don't work like that. It never has and never will. So, but one thing is, I'll tell you one thing. Before you quit your job, save up some money. Don't just say I can't take it no more. I quit. My dad sound like Dave Chappelle when I did that. So I quit. Can't take it no more. You know what I mean? Charlie Murphy. But you gotta do it strategically. Don't just do it abruptly. I want to give you that little thing. Don't just walk into work one day and say, fuck it, I quit. And you have no backup plan. Except I want to sell beats, but in the meantime, you're not selling no beats. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5. You just got to strategically work your way out of it. There's no disgrace in having a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Because the other people say, man, I don't work no 9 to 5. My 9 to 5, I do. All right, that's him. You know what I'm saying? Until you're ready, that can be you, but you're just not ready yet. And don't rush it. That's what I got to say about that.
You can't rush it. I mean, definitely can't rush it. You gotta love it. You gotta love with every morsel of your being to really, I would say, I mean, with a job, with an establishment that's already set up for you, it's not to say that it's not difficult to move up the ranks and depending on what company you work for, but it's not. That's already set up. Like, that's already running. It's ultimately to make somebody else money, but there's already infrastructure there for you to kind of just fall into place. And there's a lot less work as far as getting a paycheck. And I mean, if you want to start making money on your own, you got to understand that you're building a business from the ground up. I mean, you're building your brand, your personal brand, your production brand. Like, that's something that nobody else is just going to hand that out to you. That's not something that a company already set up for you. You can just jump in, and that's something you have to build. And it takes, again, going back to time, I started making beats in 2006. I had played piano prior, so I'd taken lessons, and I already was into music a lot, but never in a form of like recording into some software and actually making a track. And so in college, I got introduced into FL Studio, Fruity Loops. I think it was Fruity Loops back then, or it just transitioned to FL Studio, and just kind of fell in love with it, fell in love with sampling and just being able to record in little riffs. And if I didn't get it right the first time, I could change it and fix it and actually turn it into some track. And it was just during college, I just fell in love with it. And so that was basically my life, was making music. Was not even trying to sell beats or anything like that. It was just like trying to get my craft up, like trying to get a track to sound like a college dropout Kanye beat, or trying to, emulate the Heatmakers, or trying to get a certain type of sound. And skipping class and doing all this kind of stuff. But it was funny years later when I told my parents, hey, I'm really not just doing this as a hobby. I mean, I am, but I'm making some money on this, and I'm really truthfully considering quitting my computer engineering job and doing this music thing. And to have that kind of conversation is fun. It's not fun. It's an interesting conversation though. And it's depending on who you're talking to and what type of background they have and where they come from, it can be really tough conversations to have, especially talking to grandparents that come from the older generation and that type of stuff. Not that you necessarily have to explain or anything to them, but you still want to be open. At least I was wanting to be open with my family, but that was tough for me. That was super tough for me because I knew with the momentum that I had, I wasn't quite to the point where I was like, okay, this is a breeze, and it never really is a breeze. There's always obstacles. Like I said, there's always peaks and valleys. You may go up and see a lot of growth, and then you have a plateau or you have a dip, and that's what it is. It's the entrepreneurial roller coaster. It's going to continue to be that way. But I got to a certain level, and I was like, I had money saved. I mean, I was making a lot of great money, and I was saving a lot of that, and I'm like, okay, I've got enough money here. I know I'm only spending, I was coming home at like 6 or 7, it's like 6 in the evening, and then spending probably another 8 hours, at least 6 or 7. But I mean, I was literally spending another full-time shift, getting a few hours of sleep, and I did that for, 2.5 years. And then decided in late 2011, like I think it was November. It's just coming up now I think it's just now been 4 years. 4 years? I think that's right. I think it just this past December and November has been 4 years. So my parents, I'm like, I'm not really asking your permission on this, but I'm like, my mom was excited because I was living out of state, and so like she wanted me to come back closer to home. Didn't get to see them that often, so she was excited from that. But there's a lot of questions they had, and I understand, and a lot of questions that I had, to be honest. But I couldn't see myself doing anything else. That's really what it came down to for me. That was what made me transition to, like, I wasn't happy building another company for somebody else. I've been an entrepreneur since I was like 15 years old. Started an eBay account. I was mowing lawn. I was always finding like odds at like alternate ways to make money. I'd been an entrepreneur. I feel like it was part of who I was, and I just didn't foresee that as an actual feasible option. During college, you always feel that pressure, probably still now. Maybe some of you watching this are in college, like you feel that pressure, like you have to do fit a certain mold to go a certain route. So I took that route, but in the process, I found a way that I was able to start generating some income in about 2008, I think is when I started first. I started reluctantly putting my tracks up on MySpace and some of the forums and things, started getting some decent feedback. And then like one day, I think it was on MySpace, I know it was on MySpace, I had, you remember back in MySpace 2008, 2006, 2007, they used to have the players. They might still, I think they've revamped. Nobody's on MySpace anymore, but they used to have those players. Those players on it right there on your homepage. You used to go and you could upload your music. And I had an artist that reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I like how much do these beats cost?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." I'm like, I wasn't even advertising them for sale. I was just putting my tracks up for display, and ended up selling like 4 beats for $50 a piece, $200 in my pocket for something that I love to do. I wasn't trying to make money. It was just something that I was passionate about. And I'm like, oh shit. It turned, the light bulb went off, and I'm like, motherfucker, I just made $200 just by putting my tracks up. Not even, I was marketing them in the sense that I had somewhat of a presence, but like, everybody had a MySpace page. Everybody had music posted. It wasn't like I was doing anything special at the time. I was just making music, and I was like, oh shit, it's on now. It's on. And from that point, it was me like trying to figure everything out, getting the site up, like trying to figure out social media. And things have changed and continue to change all the time, so you have to constantly be learning. But it was just like at that point, I knew it was going to be an uphill battle to get myself in a position to even consider leaving a job. At that time I didn't have a job. I was in college just doing odds and ends stuff. But like to even consider going to my parents and be like, hey, back like I was probably 20 years old. So I was, in a room at college, but I would still come home on the weekends, and I was kind of still living at home to an extent. So it was like I was still kind of under my parents' roof somewhat. They were still paying some bills and things like that. So I felt like an obligation to at least explain then, but later on, it was probably, I guess I was 20, it's been 4 years ago, so I just reveal my age, but I just got to the point, and I was just like, this is all I can foresee doing. I built some pretty decent following on SoundClick then, and have my website, but it was just I couldn't do anything else. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and it still is a lot of work, but now I'm able to spend more time on it. And sometimes it is, like Brian said, it is like a 20-hour day. It is, but you have the leisure of picking your time you want to work. You have, there's. It's not. I wouldn't say it's for everybody. I wouldn't say it's for everybody. You can love music and still not do music full time, because you really have to put in a lot of work.
Yeah, I remember loving music and loving the creation of music is 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? You can love, I know people that love hip hop, but they don't feel like making no beat, they don't rap, but they love it. But when you love creating something, man, and you got a passion for it, and then you can realize that, like he did when he sold those 4 beats, you realize he can make money off his passion. Travis went plumb loco. He lost his mind. He said, I can't believe this. I can just, wow. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is sometimes. It's a wow factor. But the whole thing is, when that wow factor hits you, you got to keep that foot in the pedal. Like we said, this one time I ain't go to bed for most 27, 28 hours. You know what I mean? Now, it to the point that my body just crashed and I couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? That's what happens to some of these artists like Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. Having seizures and cause this stuff is a grind, man. like I said, there's no microwave solutions, none of this stuff. And I guarantee we all can take our careers, put in a little microwave bowl and stick them in the microwave and put it on for 60 seconds and have success. Everybody will be fucking doing it. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not doing it. That's why we're kind of an elite group. Like, a lot of people can't do what we do. I'm not talking about we as us three. I'm talking about as producers who sell stuff online, period. You know what I'm saying? You're part of a special group of people. You know what I mean? That's how you gotta look at it. Like, I'm in this group of people with my peers. I love doing what I'm doing. I can make a living off of this. And one person one of the greatest examples ever gave to me was from Brian. He said, "You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and you love being a fan. You love the Steelers. You can make money off of it." And he broke it down to how you can actually make money off being a passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Open up a website, make different kind of T-shirts, target other Pittsburgh fans, and sell T-shirts from Cafe Express for $9.99. You sell 10 T-shirts a day, it's $100 a day. You know what I'm saying? You sell 20 a day, it's $200 a day. That's $6 grand a month. 60. That's over 72 grand a year. All off the passion of you being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and that's how you got to look at it.
And I think something else worth noting. We can probably wrap up. We've been over a little bit, but that like you said, there is no one. There's no microwave solution, but there's no single path because we all come from different backgrounds. You guys come from an offline era, and you've built a nice. Both of you have built strong networks offline, and later online came. I started online. I went the opposite, and so different opportunities and things came to me a little bit in different manners at different times, maybe than it did for Brian or for Will. So it's like I'll just go back to consistency and just I think it just starts with you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And you gotta love it even the days you hate it. Because you gotta be able to endure and do what's necessary on those days, and that's the only way you can do that. On the days you absolutely hate it, the only way that you can endure that consistently is if you go back to that's really what you love ultimately.
Definitely. I guess we're probably gonna wrap up soon. Just closing. I know for me personally, like when I'm going through that time when it's rough and I can't think of shit, shit ain't right. It's always helped me to have people around me that were doing the same thing I do. Like I can set up a video call with Will. I can set up a video call with Travis, Chaz, and talk about this shit. Talk about this music. Talk about marketing. Talk about whatever it is I need to get through. And I can't have those conversations with most of my friends. The people I hang with every day, they don't do what we do. So my advice to you is to surround yourself with people who do what you do and want to be or have what you want to have. Like surround yourself with the people who can say, okay, I have a question about this. I need to talk to people who know what the fuck it is that I'm going through. Because your friends don't understand what you're going through. They're consistent and they're happy with working. They're happy with the 9 to 5. They're happy with doing that. And most of us aren't happy. We don't fit into that mold. So you got to surround yourself with other successful people, other entrepreneurs, other producers who are doing what you want to do so you can have somebody to relate to, because I'm telling you, it gets rough sometimes. We link up every single Saturday just to talk, period, because I know for 6 days out of the week, I don't have anybody to talk to about this shit because they don't do what I do. They're like, oh, the music is cool. Oh, the beats are cool. And that's the conversation. So just surround yourself with people who are in the same niche as you or in the same field as you and pick their brain. And like I said, just you need a mentor. You need some people that can show you what to avoid or which way to go. You need to start surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you're doing and have what you want. Y'all ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I got another session coming in.
All right, bro. Well, thanks for watching, y'all. We'll probably try and do this again sometime. We'll definitely, if you're on our list, you know, Well, you'll get a message from us when we're gonna do the next Q&A. Other than that,
we're gonna do a Q&A on Saturday. So if you're a member, if you're a member, we're gonna do a Q&A every Saturday, like Brian said. That'll be posted internally for members. But we will do public Q&As from time to time. But if you do, for those of you, if you are a GTS member or you're not, just be prepared to work. Whatever. If you, this quick, social media boost or this one little thing, like there are tips and strategies you want to learn, but just be prepared. Prepare yourself. If you aren't already operating on 100%, be prepared to operate that way, because that's the only way you gain any real traction. At the end of the day, it's the only way. When you get to a certain level, you might be able to coast for a period, but to really build the things up, you got to do what most people are not willing to do, and it's a lot of fucking hard work, but it's possible if you do it. It sounds simple, right? It sounds simple, but if
it was simple, everybody would have it. You know what I'm saying? If it was simple, everybody would be successful. The fact is that it's hard to be consistent. It's hard to stay focused on the goal and keep at it, man. It's just work, man. It's work.
A lot of hard work. I'm just gonna say this: if you don't believe this shit works, he bought a fucking Lambo. That's all I gotta say. He bought a fucking Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Shit works, but you gotta put the work in to make it work.
That's it.
You know what I mean? The guy came from, I use the story all the time. The guy came from nothing, homeless, projects, living in the shelter, to a fucking Lambo by selling music and having more than one stream of income. But all dealing with music.
Yep.
So when people say it ain't possible, tell them to go fuck themselves, because it is possible.
Yep. All right, y'all. We'll see you guys on the next Q&A. If you're in GTS, we are in the GTS movement. We will see you on Saturday in the Q&A. Peace.
Peace.